BT's Body and Balance is sponsored by Canada Diagnostic Centres, offering MRI, X-ray and ultrasound services in Calgary and Okotoks.
Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women, and just in advance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're being joined by health specialist Leah Sarich here with how a local foundation is helping women with the disease and their families at every stage of the journey.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Breast Cancer Supportive Care Foundation, and I like to talk to them every year if I can, because they do such amazing work for these women on their journeys through breast cancer, and not only for them but also for their families, to really help them cope on many different levels and at every stage of their cancer diagnosis. So from diagnosis to treatment to recovery and beyond. So the foundation is a charitable organization. They're led by a team of doctors and then other medical professionals. So what's great about it is that they're also going to see psychologists, nurses, dietitians, and it's all happening under one roof, which is really great. And the really wonderful thing here is that these people have time for their patients. So it's not like going to see your family doctor and sitting down for 10 minutes. In this case, you can sit down with your physician for 60 minutes, maybe even an hour and a half, taking the time that you really need to understand what's going on. So because they're supporting women with breast cancer as a whole person and not just as a patient, I'll have one of their doctors explain.
We look at them from the physical point of view, but also the emotional and the mental point of view. So, you know, we can talk with them about their results, pathology, radiology, that sort of thing, but we also really have a great team of people who can help with the psychological side. So we have a psychiatrist who's on staff. We also have a couple of psychologists, clinical psychologists, who help us with talking with our patients about, say, fear of recurrence,
which is a big one, of course, for breast cancer patients. And here you have Dr. Kubik here speaking with Heather. Heather Williams was diagnosed with breast cancer back in December of 2010. So she's coming up on her 5 years of being cancer-free, but she's still dealing with lots of things. So she underwent a mastectomy and chemotherapy, but here we are 5 years later, and yes, she's still struggling with things like fatigue and the fear, of course, of that breast cancer coming back. And she still sees professionals at the Breast Cancer Supportive Care Foundation. They helped her really make all of these decisions, including her breast reconstruction decisions. And Heather talks about how the foundation really helped her, but also her family, as we've been talking about. So her husband, in her case, really negotiate the diagnosis and move forward. And you know, for other women with children, for example, they've got child psychologists on hand to help these kids understand what's happening to their mom and why is mom sick and that kind of thing. So this fall, Heather, she started going to the recovery group program. So she's still accessing services there, and really she calls the BCSC her lifeline.
I was assigned to a doctor, and so saw that physician on a regular basis, trying to work through the different things that I was going through, whether it be fatigue, whether it be bone pain, whether it be muscle pain, all the side effects that sort of come with treatment. Dealing with sexuality and intimacy issues, which we commonly don't see in terms of public discussion, and breast reconstruction and the choices that I had to make, and finding the right plastic surgeon for me, and one that could work with me and sort of what I needed.
Heather says really that the Breast Cancer Supportive Care Foundation helped put her back together, put all the pieces back together, because she's definitely a new person, you know, after this cancer diagnosis. So they helped her both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So really the whole big picture there. And it's about giving Heather the information she needed to really make the big decisions that you have to make when you're going through this cancer journey, which is really important. And of course, the best part, and this is the part I want to drive home and why I do the story every year, is that all of these resources are free. So anybody with a breast cancer diagnosis can call up the Breast Cancer Care Foundation, call them up. They don't need a doctor's referral. You can just go there. It's free, and you can access these resources. So really, everybody just needs to access this if you have a breast cancer diagnosis. But the other thing I want to highlight as well is that even if you don't have a breast cancer diagnosis, but you're actually at high risk of developing breast cancer, so maybe you've already been identified as carrying the gene for breast cancer, or if you have a family history, so mom, sister, that kind of thing, with breast cancer, then yes, you can access their services as well. And the best part, again, is that it's all under one roof. So you're going to one place. You You can bring your family, you can bring your kids. They really are going to look after you, and not just, you know, from treatment, but really right through and beyond. So they do wonderful work there. And of course, the reason we're talking about them right now is that their big gala is happening this weekend, and there's tickets available still. You can access that through my blog or onto their website.
Okay, breakfasttelevision.ca. So much information for families to digest, such a valuable service.
Such a fantastic resource. So really, they need to use it. It's wonderful. So the big Glamour Gala is this Sunday.
Okay, great cause to support. Thanks very much,
You're very
Leah.
welcome.
And on